Most of my clients come to me after they've been denied their application for Social Security Disability or SSI benefits. Of course, this is long after they completed and filed their application for disability benefits. The question is, what things would you want to know prior to filing your application? First of all, I would recommend that you seek the advice of an experienced attorney so we can address the issues that are particular to your case. However, there are some general rules that you should know when filing your application for disability benefits. If you're filing for Social Security Disability or SSI benefits, and the standards are the same for both benefits, you must understand that you have to prove you can't do any jobs which exist in significant numbers in the national economy, and that this disability lasts or is expected to last for 12 months or more. For instance, you've been an auto mechanic your entire career. Now you can't do that job anymore because you've had back surgery. If I'm preparing a client who is under age 50 for a Social Security hearing, I tell him to forget about his past work. I have to prove that you can't check ID cards at the YMCA. For example, jobs such as this would allow you to sit whenever you want. It would allow you to stand whenever you want. No lifting, no carrying, no bending, no climbing. You've never done this job before, and it doesn't pay what you're used to making, but you have to prove you cannot do it. The key is proving that your medical problems prevent you from doing these jobs. There are several things that I tell my clients never to say in a Social Security hearing. Understand that these concepts apply to the application process as well. Understanding these concepts is critical to understanding what you have to prove to be successful in your disability claim. The most common mistake people make is to confuse disability issues with discrimination issues. They might, for instance, say that once they find out about my back surgery or they see me walking with a cane, nobody wants to hire me. This is understandable because it's probably true. However, discrimination and disability are two different things. Never argue hiring practices or discrimination in a disability claim. You have to focus on your inability to do the job, even if it were offered to you. The second most common mistake that people make is claiming a lack of experience or education. They'll say things, for instance, like, "I've never done that job before," or "all I've ever been is an auto mechanic." Remember, the jobs that we have to prove you cannot do are unskilled. They don't require any particular training or education. You could learn these jobs anywhere from a few minutes to a couple of days. So you don't want to claim you can't do jobs because of a lack of education or experience when these jobs do not require education or experience. I can't drive, or I don't have transportation. Many people have disabilities which affect their ability to drive. Many people don't have access to transportation, don't live near a bus line. Social Security doesn't care how you get to and from the job. If you can't drive, the only thing that Social Security would make of that is you can't work as a driver. Never argue transportation or an inability to drive as a reason that you cannot work. There are none of those jobs where I live. This is a common complaint of my clients who live in the country, in more rural areas where the jobs are farther and fewer in between. Remember, the standard is we have to prove you can't do any jobs which exist in significant numbers in the national economy. Or as I tell my clients, I got to prove you can't do all the jobs in New York City. So never claim your location and the lack of jobs where you live as a basis for your disability. That job would not pay enough. This is an understandable complaint that I often hear from my clients, in particular those who are used to doing skilled work and earning good wages. And now I'm explaining to them that I have to prove that they can't do jobs that would pay minimum wage or perhaps a little bit above that. It doesn't matter. Social Security doesn't care if you go from a high wage job to a low wage job. If you're still capable of performing that job, you're not disabled. I have to take care of my parents. I have to take care of my children or a sick relative. While this may be a reason why you choose not to work, it is not a reason why you could not work. I would not like that work. Well, you might not like the work that Social Security finds you capable of, but whether or not you like it's not the question. Again, we have to prove that you can't do it. A word about unemployment benefits. When you file for unemployment benefits, you're alleging that you are ready, willing, and able to work. When you file for Social Security disability benefits, you're alleging that you can't do any jobs which exist in significant numbers in the national economy. Obviously, there's a direct conflict between claiming these two benefits for the same period in time. And while an application for unemployment benefits, or indeed the receipt of unemployment benefits, does not necessarily preclude being found disabled, it is a significant factor, and many judges will hold it against you in your application for disability benefits. When you fill out your Social Security application, you'll be asked to describe all the jobs you've done in the past 15 years. When you're doing this, you want to be careful not to exaggerate or claim any work skills or responsibilities that you don't actually have. This is not a resume where you're seeking a job. The more work skills you have, the more, for instance, you did computer work, you did hiring, you did firing, you did inventory, you did bookkeeping. Any of these skills, the more skills you have, the more jobs that would be open to you, the harder it is to prove disability. Again, you have an obligation to be honest, but keep it simple. You can file your application online at ssa.gov, or you can schedule an appointment to go into your local office and file your application. If you would like a consultation prior to filing your application, call Harbison and Kavanagh at 804-888-8000.